the Benchpress from the Palatial
Studios
here at TSU. My name is Scott Wallace. It was a full weekend starting on Thursday with the Oregon Ducks falling, and it went downhill from that for everybody. But I'm here in studio. It's a full house in here today.
Yes, sir.
A lot of us here. And then we got the mood set, the doors closed, the lights are off, and we are ready for action.
No
candles.
No candles. Yeah, we ain't taking it that far.
Proper sense.
We just laid back and chill.
Let me introduce everybody before we go on it. My mama taught me manners. And we just talking. Nobody know what's talking, who talking, and all that stuff. But you should know everybody's voice by now. But if just in case you don't, and you the first time listening, we appreciate you listening. But of course, to the left of me is the Nostradamus of radio, Jason Sales. What's going on, Jason?
Again, another Monday. Starting to get to that season that the season changed. No more hot weather.
But you still wearing shorts
until it's in the 50s.
Yeah, that's what he do.
Shorts and socks. That's Jason.
Until it's in the 50s.
That's Jason. Of course, to his left is none other than the Metro guy, McKinley Young. What's going on, Mac Daddy?
What's good? We had another hard fought, although the score won't tell how the game actually went. Yeah. It was a very physical game last Friday.
Yeah. But we don't want to talk about that score.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough.
We're kind of torn between two worlds, Both programs know the coaches, respect them. Hey, one had to win, one had to lose.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I'm with you, too. I like Brian Waite. And, of course, you're talking about the game Friday, the game of the week for the WTN Tribune Radio game of the week between the Maplewood Panthers and the East Nashville Eagles. And we saw why.
We saw why.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, that team down there in Murfreesboro.
That's the one I was going to say.
Come ups. Yeah, we saw exactly why.
Why they chose Isaiah
going down there.
Yeah, and we also saw why they are undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people said they didn't play nobody well.
Well, they proved everybody wrong on Friday.
Right. But they did give up some points, and I want to talk about that a little bit. But we're going to keep the introductions going on. Of course, we have we have two assistant sports information directors in the house. First one is Chris Clark. What's going on, Chris?
Nothing much. Just getting ready for my birthday.
Birthday licks.
It ain't 21 yet, is he 18? Gonna smoke cigarettes?
Yeah.
You gonna
17.
Vote? Oh, well, he can't vote yet.
He can't vote yet.
McDonald's. We can get him some McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday to you, Chris, and we're glad that you're here. Of course, we have an announcement about Chris and also McKinley Young a little bit later on the show. But again, we're going on with the announcements. Of course, I told y'all we got a lot of people in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Thompson, the house coach Tony Thompson, the former women's coach at Fisk University. What's going on, Tony?
All I want to say to Junior, and Jay, thank you for those Kansas City cheese, baby.
Oh, man.
I had to stick it back to him this week. So if you guys need y'all Monday night picks, ask Coach T.
I told you don't lean on me for anything.
Yeah.
I missed it, so
Yeah, Kansas City wore out New England last week, Monday.
Oh, yeah.
But then they took it over. I mean, they took it out on Cincinnati yesterday.
Yes, they did.
They took it out on them, but
I think Belichick woke up from that.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing was one of the reporters asked him, "Is he going to take out Tom Brady?" And he just laughed at him and said, "Next question."
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, next question, man. Hey. Of course, we got another assistant sports information director in the house. That's the lovely Tiffany Bird. What's going on, Tiffany?
Nothing, waiting for it to storm.
Oh, you waiting for we had some rain all this weekend, and you wanted to rain some more. It's coming. Yeah, I'm looking out the window. It's coming from Memphis, too. I don't know.
Yeah, the day I leave my jacket in the car.
Well, we wear the WTN Tribune jackets. We got to wear those.
Hey, man, I still got to get mine.
Oh, yeah, we got you. It's coming, man.
I'm putting in work and stuff. And,
it's coming.
Got to beg for a jacket.
Yeah, we got to.
One there from the beginning.
That's what it is.
The guy wouldn't take food stamps from me.
You know what I'm saying?
The guy wouldn't take food stamps or WIC vouchers, so I'm trying to buy that trade.
Yeah, we would have been in there.
Yeah, I'd have had 3-4 jackets if we used that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He want the credit card. Look, that's why.
No, well,
we can get one that look like a card.
Yeah, somebody else's credit card. Of course, producing the show is Miranda. Miranda's in the house. We appreciate her hard work and what she does during the week, getting us prepared to make us sound good and look good. Well, we can't look good, but
we still
sound good.
We still got a bench press breaker in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's been broken in by of course the lovely Harriet Vaughn Wallace.
Yeah.
But we have to officially have a team night out so we can officially break her in. You know?
Well, if she got broke in by Harry Wallace, I don't think we can break her in anymore. She might be
That's
broke
what
up.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
We
saying.
gotta put her back
That's
together
why we gotta
again.
put her back.
There you
Exactly.
go.
We gotta
There
put
you
her
go.
back together.
See,
There
we
you
got,
go.
one, we, got,
Yeah.
we got one Band-Aid wrap over here already.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
yeah.
well, see, Tiffany, now she has something on her foot. What you got on your hand?
Hand today, man. She got,
Oh,
Jake
Jake Locker.
Oh man,
Now,
there you
now
go.
we have the Nostradamus of radio. Now you're going to be the Jake Locker of radio. We're going to break
McNair,
it.
she be McNair.
Oh,
she's still
Nah,
she here.
but
yeah, she's
shows
still
up.
here
Yeah,
though. She
yeah,
rolling,
yeah.
so
She's
yeah,
wearing the-
you
And
know
she's
she'll step
modeling
up
the-
right now.
She's modeling the blue WTN Tribune shirt. We
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that and the love that you're showing. And of course, on the engineering part of it is Ladarius, the man from Memphis. We glad that he's here.
He's definitely gonna be excited about a little something that we put up a little early when I talked to
forgot
Scott.
about that.
You know,
Yeah. We're
So,
gonna get into
yeah.
that, but we're gonna get into some right quick. We're gonna get into some talk, some NFL talk. I don't want to talk about the NFL, but we're gonna get it out of the way because of what happened down at LP Field this past weekend. 28-3, the Titans were up, and they lost 29-28. And I want us to know from each and every one of you, first of all, before we get into all this. Oh, let's talk about what's going to be on the show. On the show today, on the second segment is going to be Susan Lack. She's called in before. She's with the University of Kentucky Sports Information Director. We have Matt Johnson calling in from Chicago, all the way from Chicago. He's a guy that's going to be having a lot of college looks. And it's going to be here in Memphis. It's going to be here in Nashville later on this week. Then we're going to have a guy that we love, Brian Collins, is going to call in talking about the basketball.
Penny.
Penny Collins.
my little brother.
And then we talking basketball a whole lot today. Antoine Wynn, an NBA referee, is going to call in about 5:15. And after that, this is just going to be us, y'all. That all right?
Hey, it works.
All right. Now we're going to start out with this. What went on at LP Field, Titan Way, whatever you want to call it, was disastrous. Now, Jason, I want to know. I mean, you all know more about football, even though I played the game than I do. What was it? And I got something in my mind what it was that why they lost. What was it that that was the biggest turning point in that game yesterday?
I didn't get to see the game. I was wrapped up with other things, but just from seeing some highlights and kind of hearing what happened, it sounded like they just basically took their foot off the gas. And Locker got hurt, but Charlie Whitehurst came in and still threw 2 touchdowns. So it wasn't anything of Locker went down and the team kind of got deflated. It sounds like they took the foot off the gas and the defense just kind of, I don't want to say gave up, but probably, I don't know if they got too relaxed or what happened. But I mean, you're giving up 26 points in the half doesn't sound that absurd. But when a team is trying to play catch up and you give up 26 points and you can't wear them down running the ball, I'm sure Coach Wisenhunt is he probably rearranged his office a little bit last night and this morning.
Matt.
Man, like you said, Jason, they took their foot off the gas, but at the end of the day, I think it just really came out that Cleveland wanted it more. It came down to their heart. Like, this team now have to go back to the drawing board and learn how to win. And I think that's what it is, because if you look at the best teams in the league, when you get a situation like that, you up. At least, let's just go into the fourth quarter. You still up by a touchdown. And you can't get a half of a yard on fourth down with a quarterback sneak from a quarterback who's 6'5". And all he got to do is just, fall forward. Yeah. And he gets it. So they try to say it's youth because you're young on the offensive line. But, I mean, Levitri is a bust.
Yeah.
We spent too much money on him. And just the simple fact of that right there alone, it cost us the game.
Yep. All right. Chris, that's your team, man. Talk to me.
First off, they went into the locker room at halftime with the wrong mindset, because I read an article. It said Ken Wisenhunt told the team in the locker room, prepare for a comeback. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to come out trying to build on the lead you already have. I don't care if it's 55-3 or whatever. You're supposed to keep scoring. But he told the team to prepare for a comeback, and that's not what you're supposed to do. That's the wrong mindset. That's probably why Cleveland came back. That's probably why they didn't score no points. All right. Because they had the wrong mindset in Cleveland.
Wow. All right. Tony?
Well, Scott, I come from a different perspective as a coach, and I think, that's not going to kill the team in the locker room. I've told my teams that many times, where you got 2 halves of the ball game. Don't think that this game is already wrapped up. One thing about a game, there's always going to be 2 things. there's always going to be someone's going to make a surge, and someone's got to play defense, and it's who can play defense through that surge going to be the ones who win the game. Coach Wisenhut was saying that, well, his situation was just that he thought he made substitutions at the wrong time. He thought he used some of the secondary guys, some of the substitutes, and they didn't prepare themselves or they didn't pick up the way he thought. Now, when Blocker went down hurt, like I said, we came in on all cylinders, came right in, scored right away, played great defense. In fourth quarter, it's kind of like Junior said, Young said, he took the foot off the gas, thinking, hey, this game is cruise control. If Cleveland, we can just lay back, and them dog pound can't run.
Yeah.
It's a different Cleveland now.
It's a different Cleveland.
Exactly.
Not a big Brian Hoyer fan, but he's showing so far this season why he went out and won the job. And I heard about it right after the game. I was on the way to get something to eat, and someone called me and told me what happened. I had no idea what the score was at any point of the game, and when I heard that, I was just like, well,
Right.
that was the end of what I had to say, basically.
Y'all didn't ask me what my opinion was.
Yeah,
What's your
about to
opinion?
ask
My
you.
opinion. I'm gonna tell you two
Off the
things
top.
happened in that game, and I watched it very closely in the second half. The Titans had a third. They would have had a 3rd and 1, I think it was, or 3rd and 2, and Levitri, who Mac mentioned, and that he was the biggest. He was the biggest
Go back
problem
to
there.
Buffalo.
He hit a guy standing up by the pound, and the guy it was because the guy hit
Jake Locker.
Jake Locker early in the first half, and he was getting him back. It was a payback move, but it knocked him back 15 yards.
But
They Titans ended up having the 4th and 4. Now, if they would have, if he wouldn't have done that, they'd got a first down, and the drive would have kept
ball
going.
game probably over.
Right, but then and then later on, he got an offsides that it ended up that the Titans ended up getting 4th and 2, and so both times it was 3 and outs. And somebody talked about the defense being gas. You keep going 3 and out. I don't care who you are. You're gonna get, you're gonna get. And they didn't get any. I mean, they probably got 3 first downs in the second half.
Right.
When you and that's the thing when you are. And I didn't understand why one series they were up by still 9 points, and he came out and threw the ball 3 times instead of running it.
Yep.
And you don't. I mean, you have a running game, and the running game was doing well.
Yeah, you got 3 running backs. You can go 2 or 3
Yeah,
options.
and
You
then
got-
there's another thing. Now,
Yeah,
my
you-
last thing was on that 4th, and I have no problem with him going forward at 4th inside their own territory. A lot of people had a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with it. You can't get a half yard, and you don't deserve to win to me. But why is Sean Green when you have Bishop Shanky in the game and he's in 7 yards back in the formation, and you're going 4th and inches? I know you're going quarterback sneak. It was the formation that got it, because I said this quarterback sneak right here, and but you know you got a 6'6" quarterback, you're supposed to get it, but when you got 300 and 400 pound guys in front,
Exactly.
and they pushed everybody back.
They did.
And but the thing was on that, and again, and another thing was a lot of things happened in that game, and it had to happen for Cleveland to come back and win. But the main thing was they took two turnovers
turnovers on
away
penalties.
from the Titans. One was on that. They call it now when the guy doesn't get straight back in on the punt return, and that's what Marcus Huff didn't do.
Yeah.
And then the second one was not a legal use of the hands because the guy hit him within 5 yards.
Exactly.
And they called it back on McCourty's. And McCourty's interception would have been, the Titans would have been first and goal at the 1. So, it was just a game that a lot of things had to happen for them to lose, and it happened.
And what's funny was I was listening to Coach Wisenhunt's press conference on the way over to the station, and he was saying that the call on Huff about him running down out of bounds and stuff like that, he said 2 more occasions on there that the Browns players did it and ran much longer on the sideline and nothing was called.
Yeah, but it's always the second person to get caught on that
Always,
situation. It's just a game before, when they played the Cowboys, the exact same thing happened. The exact thing. So, it's the person who gets caught in that second time, trying to do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is Susan.
so we have on the line right now the University of Kentucky Sports Information Director for football and women's basketball, Susan Lex. What's going on, Susan?
Hey guys, how's it going?
How you doing?
It's going good. We're glad that you back on here, and it's happy times up there in Lexington, huh?
I know it's been a whirlwind. I'm over here at football now, just getting some interviews done. Everybody's wanting to talk to Coach Stoops and JoJo Kemp, so it's been crazy today.
Coach Stoops really doing some things out there to make it alive out there and well. And looks like he's gonna try to take over from the basketball, that Blue Nation that you have with basketball.
Oh, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? But yeah, Stoops is recruiting at a high level, and we're getting players in here that can play in the SEC, which is basically what we've been kind of lacking. We just, needed players, and that's who's making the big plays. And we've got a lot of true freshmen, and JoJo Kemp's just a sophomore, and Patrick Toles is a sophomore. So I think the future is real bright for Kentucky football. How
good did it feel, Susan, for you to look over across the field and you see Steve Spurrier kicking the ground and throwing his visor and all that stuff? How good did it feel?
Well, I wish I only saw it on the replay because I was so intent on I had to get JoJo Kemp over to the SID network. And it's funny when you're an SID at the end of the game in a big game like that, I basically followed JoJo around like a little kid. He was looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, why are you following me around? But I knew that if the fans rushed the field that I would lose him. And, of course I had on some kind of high heel as well, so I knew that was going to be a problem. So I basically had a hold of his pants whenever he was on the sideline and was like, you're not getting away from me. So I didn't notice anything. I just took him by the arm and ran him out to the TV people after the game. But it was just so cool because we needed a win like that. We were so close. And really, we're just a play away from being 5-0 right now. And it's so exciting where our program is.
Down 38-24 in the fourth quarter, and then JoJo Kemp scores 2 touchdowns. And how amazing, how alive was the stadium there when all that happened?
Oh my goodness, it was the most electric I've seen the stadium in so long, and it was awesome. We were just talking about, he ran the Wildcat 19 times in that game, 19, and they knew it was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. It's just it is harder than it looks, but JoJo did an amazing job making plays, and of course the offensive line, you can't have a Wildcat, be successful like that without the O-line. So everybody was clicking.
131 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. But then Alvin Dupree made the play of the game. He kind of took it away from him, huh?
Well, you have to give credit, though, to Mike Douglas, who tipped the ball. Yeah. And then Alvin was there in the right spot. But for sure, Alvin Dupree is going to be playing in the NFL. He is a beast. And he's up for every award right now, and we're going to keep pumping him because he is not only a great player, but he is a great guy too. And whatever NFL team gets him, he's we've been so lucky. You guys in Nashville know. I mean, Wesley Woodyard there at the Titans and Avery Livingston, 2 linebackers.
Right.
They're just the salt of the earth, good character guys. And that's what Bud Dupree is.
You got a lot of other guys on the offensive side of the ball in there, especially the guy over in Green Bay, your friend.
Oh, yeah, Randall Cobb. I'm talking about. Oh, Green Eyes. Yeah, he was at our game today. We got to celebrate with him. We had a lot of former players back. Any football aficionado will know Art Still. Mm-hmm. Art played in the league for a long time with
I didn't know he went to Kentucky.
Yep, he was back in town, and then. If you remember back in the 90s, Craig Yeast and Tim Couch always had that connection, and Craig Yeast was back. So we just had a great weekend, and all of our alumni got to celebrate with us, so it's cool.
All right, 2-1 in the conference. And you all, I was hoping, this is what I was hoping you guys would come back to Music City. Don't look like you're coming to the Music City Bowl, by the way you're playing, not 4-1 overall. But how excited is it that you're one of the top teams in the SEC East, and especially that these 2 teams in Tennessee are below you, and you haven't seen that in recent years?
Well, it's exciting, but I'll probably have to take the attitude that Coach Stoops has, and that we've got a long way to go, and we can't really look at that because next weekend we have to focus on Louisiana Monroe, and any team can beat anybody. So we're not good enough, I don't think, to look ahead and be like, hey, we're going to be really on the top of the SEC East, because we have a lot left and there's a lot to go, and you just never know what's going to happen. But for me as a fan and looking in, it's pretty cool to be where we are right now in year 2 of the Mark Stoops era.
Right.
And just knowing what we came from, and I'm a huge fan of Joker Phillips, and will never ever say anything, let anybody talk about him.
Well, I know that.
But, yeah. But, where the program is right now and just the recruiting and the players we're bringing in, it's just a really special time to be a part of the Kentucky football program.
Hey, Susan, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, this is Coach Thompson. Also, I know you wear many hats out there at Kentucky, and it's good to get another program besides Coach Cal, on the men's basketball team. But I also want to tell you, you got a young lady that's great, my niece up there, Alexis Jennings, on the basketball side of the house. And the women's basketball team has turned the program around. They're top 4, top 5 in the nation as well. So you're looking at an opportunity that you're going to be a very busy person this year.
Oh, no doubt, and I love it. There's nothing better for people like me in media relations to be busy like that. But, yeah, our women's team started the official practice on Sunday where you could have, the 2 hours of practice. And our goal is to be the fastest team in the country, and we've got some young post players, but, boy, we're going to be fast, really fast. I'm excited about it. And I think we'll be preseason top 10. We got a really good schedule, and one of the things we're trying to do here at Kentucky, again, is sell out Rupp Arena for a women's basketball game. We did it last year against Duke, and it was the first sellout at Rupp for a women's game, and the largest crowd to ever see a women's game in the Commonwealth, and the 5th largest crowd in the nation that didn't have anything to do with Tennessee or UConn. So we're going to do that again, hopefully, against Baylor this year.
Ooh,
and, yeah, we played them twice last year. And, if you follow women's hoops, we had a epic battle in Dallas, 4 overtimes, and then they beat us in the tournament in the Sweet 16. So we're hoping we can get some revenge on them.
Well, Susan, we're glad that you called in. We're going to make sure that we're going to keep in touch with you. And I don't want you to get too busy that you don't call me.
No, we got to do this more often because we need to spread the word out there, down in Nashville. We got a lot of Kentucky fans down there.
Yeah, I still wear my Kentucky hat around here when I do. People always say, "Hey, you watch the game?" I'm like, "Yeah," but I didn't watch it. But I know I could throw your name out, and of course I'm gonna go down and see if I can holler at Avery Williamson and let him know that you're a friend of mine, and see if I can get some tickets to a Titan game.
Yes, do it. Just say Slack said to give you tickets. How about that?
And we still waiting to come down there to Commonwealth Stadium to come down there to see the Kentucky Wildcat football team. I'm not gonna ask for basketball tickets. I know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's a tough one, especially this year. But yeah, anytime y'all want to come, you just let me know.
All right, we appreciate you, Susan.
All right, thank y'all. For
all right,
thank you.
That's Susan Lax. I know the SID at University of Kentucky.
You know a lot of people.
Know people.
There it is.
Yeah. And you see, I mean, she knows what she's talking about too. When she's right about that. When she's in her mode, and when she had the game, because I've seen her at the Music City Bowl, and that's when Joker Phillips was there, and also Steve. I mean, she's had a lot of guys. If you look at the NFL rosters,
Kentucky has a lot of players in the league.
Yes, it's a lot of guys. The wide receiver, Stevie Johnson, got the tight end for Denver. He was
Jacob
Tammy. Then you got the defensive guys, and so it's a lot of guys that she's been around. And of course, we can't get the guy in Green Bay that's from Alcoa.
Cole, which
don't talk about that.
You're gonna see a lot of them coming up very soon, ain't you, Scott?
Yeah, we will. But the fact that I always tell a story, this funny story about it when I was the sports information director at Fisk University. And when you at a smaller school, you're the department. It's not you the director, you're the department. And Tony, you know about that. And when I went to the NCAA Sports Information Director Conference down in Orlando, and I saw her. She was happy to see me. We took pictures and everything, and I was telling her, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I told her, she's like, "Oh, okay. Which sport?" And I said, "Which sport?"
Right.
All sports.
The university.
She said, "Okay, well, how many guys you got working with you?" I was like, "One, me." Right. And she's like, "Wait a minute, you handle all sports and all?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And then she had the University of. They had Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Georgia, all these guys come and say, "Listen to what these guys telling me what they do." And y'all think y'all got it hard. You think about that. And I was like, well, I'm at a smaller scale and all that. But that was fun to meet all those guys. But she's a great person. And we're going to have to go down there, Jason. Up there, I should say. Is it up there? Yeah, up there.
I mean, I don't have a problem with traveling.
Right.
Just let me know.
Have car wheel travel.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah, but I know, Tony, you probably want to go to see the UK football. I mean, we could go to see your cousin, your niece play.
I'm getting tickets on that, so I'm good.
Yeah, you know,
he don't need me.
Yeah, he don't need. You know what I'm saying?
But you can't travel that way.
There we go. We gonna tag
he gonna
along
make me
with
pay
him.
for the gas.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather pay the ticket than the gas. But you know, just a great thing that we have going on with that, and I mean, I'm excited about that football team because it's been a long time since they had a little surge there for a little while, but they've never gone over the top. But looking at the teams above them, I think they have a good chance of winning
They
the
can
SEC East.
actually go to the SEC championship.
Right.
Like, and how funny would that be? Because most people pretty much already has UK boys inked in.
Well,
for
you
the
know, they
SEC
just
champion.
schedule Vanderbilt and UK for homecoming.
Exactly.
Majority of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't do that no more.
No,
Exactly.
you can do it for Vanderbilt this year though.
Yeah, this year. But I still believe you give Coach Mason a full year to get his staff in. See, people forget he got the job late. So when he got it late, he had to get on the recruiting like that. Now he's gonna have a whole offseason, a whole full year to go recruit, go put his system in, get them guys in the weight room, get all of that. And next year, because I didn't expect Vandy to do too much this year, even though they had all that talent, Coach T will tell you, it's different when you go from one system to the next. No matter if you got all the talent in the world, if you got somebody that you brought in to run a spread offense and you want to sit down and pound and ground and you ain't got those guys, no matter how good your athletes are, you still going to lose. So next year, I think Vandy will they may not be exactly where they were, but they're going to be back and relevant in the SEC East where it still just won't be a pushover.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with a little basketball with Matt Johnson, a highly recruited player out of Chicago that's coming down here to be recruited this week.
Shot town. I got some people for him.
We'll be back.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Scott Wallace, and listen to Hour of Power, the Benchpress Sports Show.
Nurse, I need you to apply pressure to the head wound until I can get to it. I'm concerned she's lost too much blood.
Oh, no.
You in the corner, who are you? You're not supposed to be here.
She's my girlfriend, Doctor.
You need to wait out in the waiting room.
Please, Doctor, I want to stay with her.
Look, she's been badly injured. So if you want to do what's best for her, you need to let us do our work.
Please, Doctor, she has to be okay. I didn't mean to do this. I love her.
Wait a second. You were the driver?
Yes, but I didn't mean to. I swear, we went to dinner. I was just buzzed. I only had a few drinks.
Just buzzed? Why didn't you tell us that? In that case, your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great. You want to get out of here?
I can't believe this. Really, Doctor? She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
All in together now. We can make it better now. Come on, can we do it? Yeah, you know that we can. We'll rope it up, cause we know how to jump. We'll roll it out, cause we know how to skate. We'll cut it down, cause we know what to eat. We'll swap it out, we eat healthy stuff. Can we do it? Yeah, you know that we can. Can we do it? Yeah, you know that we can. Yeah. Well, come on.
Today's a good day to grab your kids and hang out with them for an hour. Dance, walk, play a sport, or cook a healthy meal. Because just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier.
Can we do it? Yeah, you know that we can. We'll ball it up, cause we know how to hoop. We'll mess around, cause we know how to play. We'll drop it down, cause we know how to dance. We'll veg it up, veggie night and day. Can we do it?
Search We Can online to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day to keep you and your kids healthy. Remember, that's We Can. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
We're back on the bench press. Jason, how impressed were you of Susan Lax, of her acumen, her Kentucky acumen over there talking about football and basketball and all that good stuff? How impressed were you?
I remember when we talked to her last year, we were trying to get some up-and-coming guys, and she didn't hesitate to think about anybody. I don't remember the name she gave me, but as soon as I asked, who should we be looking out for that may make an impact this season, it was immediately, watch out for so-and-so and so-and-so. So, I guess you can kind of speak to it. When you're in that role and you're around the student athletes that whole time, you get to know their personalities, and you kind of, you're probably sitting there practicing and you're watching and you're thinking, hey, man, I remember that he was all right last, in November, but, he had a pretty good spring practice, so, that's that comes with the territory.
It does, and we gonna make our way. We're gonna track it up there. I was thinking about talking about football. The Darius Van Leer house won again on Saturday.
Yes, I heard.
Yeah, I
99
saw that.
yards.
I saw that.
Yeah, 99 yards. I got to throw a shout out to my boy, Scat Cat Van Leer over at Tennessee Tech. Good looking out, and he was on the show about a couple of weeks ago doing his thing. And they said after that they didn't kick to him no more.
Of course not. He may not see another ball in special teams the rest of his career. There.
Right. We're talking about student athletes. Yeah, it's talking about student athletes. At least when they play in TSU, they didn't kick him at all except one time.
They gonna find a way to get it to him, though. Yeah, reverses or something.
Yeah, he does play on offense a little bit, but we got a guy on the line right now, and he's a guy that's gonna be down here in a few days. On Friday, he's gonna come visit a few schools. His name is Matt Johnson, one of the top players in the state of Illinois, and in Chicago, he's a Stevenson High School senior. What's going on, Matt?
Chi-town, baby.
Not too much. How about you?
All right, Matt. We got a guy in studio that was in your shoes a few not a few years ago. A few decades ago. His name is Tony Thompson. He was one of the guys. What school? You went to Crane? What did you go to school?
No, baby. Matt. You very represented Morgan Park High School, baby.
CVS? Where'd you go? No, but we got a guy in the studio like that. But we are excited for you to come down here and visit some schools. And we hear some great things about you. You're one of the top players in Illinois. And looking forward for you to coming down, Matt.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love Tennessee, so it's going to be a fun experience.
And one of the things, Jason, that what you're going to enjoy about this young man is that he's just not a basketball player. He's great in school, great young man, great manners and all that stuff. When he contacted me at first, he was all polite, very well spoken, and I appreciate that, Jason. And Matt, what are you looking for now? You're 6 foot, right? Let me give your measurements so we know what we're looking at when you come down here.
Yeah, I'm about 5'11", 6 foot, about 185. So.
And you averaged 15 points a game last year.
Yeah.
And listen, now you may think that's not a lot of points, for a guy to play Division I, but he has a point guard on a team that's average. That's a Division I player, so he had to take a step back a little bit. They are one of the top two players in the state. And talk about how it is, Matt, for you to play with a guy that's just as good, and you had to take a back step to him.
Oh, it's great because I learned a lot from him. He had a dad that played in the NBA, so I learned a lot from him, and both of them really helped me take my game to another level.
All right. Now, you got all these schools after you. Now, have you narrowed it down to a few schools, or are you just trying to do your thing right now? What is your mindset right now as far as your higher learning?
I'm just trying to keep my options open, Just probably going to wait till after the season to decide. So just anybody who wants to take a look at me, I'm open to it.
Hey, this is Mac. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
All right. Now, a lot of people talk about Illinois basketball as being one of the top cities, or pretty much the top states as far as high school athletics. Talk about just playing against top-notch competition week in and week out. How do you approach those games as far as your mindset when you get ready to play one of the top players in the state?
You got to go in with the mindset thinking you're better than them. You know, just got to go in hungry and try to prove yourself every game because, you know, we do play some of the best players. And, I mean, to survive out here and make it to the next level, I mean, you have to play against them and beat them. So, you know, if you want to accomplish your goals, you got to go out and want to beat them.
Now in Illinois, Chicago is probably this. I mean, that's where the best talent comes from. Now tell me this, Matt. Now I'm curious about something because back in the day when Tony and I was living up there, you couldn't get out of Chicago. At least you couldn't get out of the state of Illinois. It was like either you went to DePaul or you went to University of Illinois. Tell me why all these guys like started with Rose, and then all these other guys left the state. What is the mindset? And you're coming down here to try to look for some schools. What is the mindset now of these two schools, DePaul and Illinois, as far as somebody that's trying to get into school? What do people think now? What are they saying?
I just don't think, Illinois just got a new coach, so they're still trying to figure everything out. And then DePaul, they've been down for a little bit. So I think the wins, every kid wants to win. And when you're not winning, you look somewhere else for that. And so I think that's the mindset right now. They got to establish that they're a winning program again, and then more players will come.
All right, now, when he comes to y'all, he's going to visit 3 schools. He's going to visit MTSU, he's going to visit Lipscomb, and he's going to be on this campus. So we're going to try to make sure he don't leave, put some blue stuff on him or something, man.
Right, keep him in some of that blue. I know looking at your schedule, you got 2 big games coming up. I know that when you guys play Warren, I know when you guys play Libertyville, it's going to be a hard-fought battle. You guys are not going to get into the city this much this year, but what are you guys looking at in terms of what kind of deep run in the state playoffs do you think you're going to make?
I think we're going to make a deep run because we're actually going out of state twice to play on ESPN in Springfield, Massachusetts. Played 2 nationally ranked teams, and then also in West Virginia, 2 other good teams. So, we're going to have experience. And I think we're going to be ready to make a third straight run state.
That's good. I think you guys should do. You guys got that Finley Prep tournament too as well, right?
Yeah, we do play Finley Prep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about with some of the other guys in the city, some of the other big names in the city that you've been having an opportunity? I know besides yourself, I know they got Michael Lovett Jr. just transferred in. He's been the big hype in the Tribune and the Sun-Times. Coming in. What about some of the other players in the city you're thinking about this year that's going to look pretty good, and how you think you're going to match up against them?
Oh, we have a lot of great talent in Chicago, and, I hope we get to play against most of them. Send me how we play against them. I'm not sure about Morgan Park, but if we ever get a chance to, we're going to be ready. I want to prove myself against them, and, I think they'd be excited to play against me too, so whatever it is, I hope a lot of good talent.
Now, Benchpress friends, I want to do something. No, he sounds very calm and cool. Say nothing. I want you guys to go on YouTube and watch this guy play. This is a different guy. He's like Mike Singletary, calm and cool and all that. When he gets on the court, he does his thing. So, Matt, we appreciate you calling in, man, and make sure I'm gonna have to take you. Well, I can't take him. They may say I'm recruiting, so I can't take him to get a hamburger or nothing like that. Like I can't take it. Maybe if I could sneak something in on you, man, a T-shirt or something like that, you can take it back to Chicago and wear it around proudly, man. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, Matt Johnson, and we appreciate you calling in. Matt Johnson from Chicago. Tony.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be home several times this winter, so I definitely like to catch a couple of games. So I'll definitely be in touch. And anything I can help you with on this end, you just let me know.
All right, thank you.
All right, Matt Johnson from Stevenson High School in Chicago, one of the top players in the state. So that means that if he's one of the top players in the state, they'll know he's one of the top players in the country.
Oh, yeah, Scott. They got a pretty good program, and Coach does a great job. And I think the conference that they sit in is nice, you know. And he's right in that north suburb, too. So he's a little bit out the city.
Yeah, they don't have to play them. Yeah, some of those teams like Proviso East and all them. So, but Jason, man, I know you always listening to these guys talk because you have a pet peeve about that. Yeah. But he well-rounded. He has great mannerisms and great things, and those things that he has will allow him to be better as a student and all that. He's just not a player. He's a student athlete at the truest form.
Yeah, and that's, you want to hear about things like, especially out of, you know, if you've heard anything about any kind of youth from Chicago in the past couple of years, it's usually never anything good. So to hear about a kid who's, you know, got his grades correct and is able to, you know, he gets on a radio show, he doesn't know anybody, and he comes across as an intelligent person and articulate. That's what you want to hear. Like I said, again, especially from everything you've heard from Chicago in the past couple of years.
And Scott, and you'll know this is just like I am. You know, coming out the city, you know, like you were saying, Jay, a minute ago, we don't hear about a lot of down south schools. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just you know, when we say down south, we're talking about Southern Indiana. For real, you know. So to get an opportunity to really open up, you know, and see Big Blue Country here, bringing them in. I know Coach Dana is doing a lot of hard work here at TSU, rebuilding this program. I think he's got a tremendous season coming ahead of him for what he's got, what he's done in a short time period. You talking about, you know, at Vandy, you know, Coach Ford's done a short time period. Yep. I think he's done a hell of a job of changing the culture here at TSU. And then, of course, MTSU is just, you know, welcome to the new conference they're in. So, you know, he's got some pretty good teams that he's looking at. So, you know, getting a little bit out of the city of Chicago and to come back, you know, south, he's looking at 3 good programs.
Right, and we're excited about that. And he'll be here Friday, going around there. We try to bring him out to the Maplewood football game and give him some of Reggie's chicken wings.
I think we have something going on.
No, you better go ahead and take him over to Harold's.
Well, see, that's not the same. I can't take him to Harold's. Right. It's not the same Harold's as Chicago.
I think we have something going on campus Saturday afternoon too, if I remember.
Saturday afternoon here?
Yeah, we got a football game going on campus.
Oh, yeah. Who they playing?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I forgot about that. I got a trip about. I hope my wife not listening, but I missed the last game. I like going to games in the hall. I had to come down there and check it out. If you guys want to come on, let me know. We just gonna wear our shirts and be out there.
You know,
and tell Rod Reed to make us his official Rod Reed coaches show. Guys, but he kind of turned me down this year. I had to talk to him about that.
Like he's slick trying to get taste, so you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He's slick
already.
He's slick throwing out. You know, hey, we got our camp. See, the thing about Javonte is he's been going to TSU's camp like every year from playing ball, and like every year he gets MVP. His team always wins. He ends up making a big play and stuff like that. So once he found out that that's my child, Coach Reed, you know, he might, you know.
Well, we hope so. But we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna get into some Metro football talk. And there's a lot to talk about in Metro football.
A lot to talk about.
All right, we'll be back 2-2 here on the Bench Press. We'll be right back.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
I'm so glad we left that stupid party.
No joke.
Hey, baby, are you an overdue library book? Because you got fine written all over you.
Oh, barf. What about that girl with the hoop earrings?
Ridiculous. When she was dancing...
Megan, look out! Look out!
Oh my God, Becky. Becky, are you okay? My arm. I think it's broken. Can you bend it? It's already bent. In the wrong direction. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Really? Just buzzed?
Yeah, I swear.
Well, in that case, my arm is fine. Ah, that's better.
You're really okay? You're serious, Becky?
No, genius. I'm not serious.
Ow! My arm, it hurts.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
This is Scott Wallace, and you listen to the Hour of Power, the Benchpress Sports Show on WTN Tribune Radio.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
And we're back here on the Bench Press, and we're going to talk a little Metro football. We had a game this past Friday over at TPS, and it was a good game in the first half, but then the second half happened and turnovers started happening, and Jason, your school
took it on the chin.
That was supposed to happen. Everybody I talked to over the weekend, man, what happened? What happened is exactly what's supposed to happen. East Nashville is that good, despite anybody. If you've heard anybody say that they might be overrated or, they haven't played anybody, they can only play who's on their schedule. And there's a reason their quarterback is going to a Division I school, and you got a lot of kids. And this isn't aimed directly at Maplewood, but a lot of Metro kids who say he's not that good. That's the reason they aren't getting recruited.
Exactly.
Right. And Chris and I went back to the school, and that's what they were saying. You ain't, wasn't that good. And I just said, look, man, when the one play that I'm going to say that makes him that good, when Antoine Edmondson runs a 4.25 and he's playing safety.
Yeah.
And that 70-yard Johnny took up the middle, and Antoine, when he outran the angle.
He came at an angle.
Yeah.
Isaiah put it in another gear.
The more impressive play to me, honestly, was his first score, the one he took down the sideline. Because that was.
Yeah, he
now,
got out of trouble.
If I had a little bit of speed, I may have been able to run that. I'd have got tired after 30 yards of running down that touchdown. Yeah, at 30, they would have caught me. But
piano.
It ought to have been on my own back. But the one he took down the sideline, it was the read option, and that's what he's been working. We saw him as a sophomore, and we were like, he's just gonna get better.
Right.
And seeing him last year run it to perfection, they didn't run it a ton in this game, but when he did run it, they were putting points on the board. McAfee. A great running back, hurt. And then when you're bringing Isaiah Upton, you got to think about, is he handing off, is he running, or is he throwing? And he took it up the sideline, and it was the old track lean. Once he got around that, end, you saw the bike start lean. He took it up the sideline, and then at that point it was. You were just ready to put 6 on the board.
Yeah,
they still got a young back, a sophomore, Mario Gordon. We call him little Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, he look like him with the 42
and everything, wear the same number, and runs like he ran at Alabama.
Man.
He is looking for contact. He's not trying to sideway. He's not trying to sit over there. And then he's fast enough that if you get an open field, he gonna shut it down.
Put him in the house.
Yeah,
right. And then of course they got a stable of baskets. Foku even got but 2 carries.
But 2 carries, and he's just a sophomore. He dominated on defense. Like their defense is. It sets up a beautiful one after this bye week that we got coming up here, and both teams are on a bye, so both teams get healthy. But like Scott said, East came out, pulled out the victory, 36-7, Friday night. Isaiah had 205 yards on the ground and 128 in the air.
Oh yeah!
So he scored 3 touchdowns on the ground and also threw a touchdown.
He was saying thank you, MT. That's
he was letting it be known, But that East Nashville defense, like they pretty much shut down everything Maplewood tried to come with. They get a little success with the running game. They sending blitz here and there. Gavins along with a couple of those big guys, Cothram and Cartwright. Like those guys are ready. And the one major game besides last week that they had circled is the one that we're gonna be at in 2 weeks.
So Coach said he had the game circled on the map.
He did. He said that.
He said, if you ain't got this game circled, then he ain't ready for the season.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And what I was impressed was, and I had to send over a shout to Dr. Stephen Ball, who's the principal over at East, and I was impressed, Jason, with the ambiance, the band, and how they had everything. So they did it right. I thought it was a college game. They had them. They went the band played, and the team went over there holding their helmets up to this fight song and all that stuff. And
and, that's the way.
Yeah,
that's a program.
Yes,
and again, not taking specific aims at anybody, but that's a school in unison with each other.
Exactly.
The band doesn't play while the offense is on the field.
Oh yes.
They had their own thing going. The cheerleaders are cheering at the correct time.
Exactly.
And like you said, once the game is over, they go over to the band. The band is playing with the players, and the players are interacting with the band. That's one school being in unison.
And the thing that I saw that I got there. I was the first one there. I was there before the referees got there and everything. I was sitting there waiting, and Coach Jim Fay, that was the basketball team, came over and told me to move because I was parking this park. They had a parking space just for the band and the team.
Yeah,
and he told me I had to move. And but I was impressed that he was there. He was setting out the pylons. And mind you, this is not a school. This is not on campus. This is across town.
Across town.
And he was there,
near their campus.
right, setting up the pylons and all that. So I told him, I said I was impressed with the fact that how you guys work together. And the coach talked to Coach Brian Waite this past weekend too. And I kind of got on him because I said you don't that 7 points to Maplewood, that's your fault. I said Upton quick kicking instead of, and then Monteon Smith blocked it, and Malik Harris.
Malik showed that 4.5 speed when he got it.
He did
because it was nobody.
Yeah,
good crowd, great crowd.
Yeah, great environment.
It
like
was.
I said, we're gonna have another great environment this week. As we will be at McGavick
your team.
High
Now,
School.
see, that's your sleeper team.
Yeah, my sleeper team.
He's trying to put Hunter's Lane second in the conference.
Hey,
and before we start talking about McGavick, I'm about to give it up to DeAndre Alexander, man.
Oh yeah,
walked over them boys, man. That touchdown win for Hillsborough. So.
Oh yeah. Now I definitely those are like my kids. So Hillsborough, of course, when they said I was a little biased, but they saw them play, and they sitting over there and see how dominating they are over there in 12 AAA, and that was a great game we did at McGavick. But we'll be at McGavick High School for McGavick and Hunters Lane.
That's gonna be a good game.
And shout out to Coach BJ Taylor, who is a Venom player and a Storm
player, and a coach over at Hunters Lane. He wearing a whole lot of hats.
Yeah, we will be
and listen to the show.
I just got off the phone with Coach Gore not too long ago.
Okay,
we got everything confirmed, so I'm gonna go over there bright and early Wednesday morning at 8:00 for practice. Kind of do
they got an 8 o'clock practice?
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah, it's fall break, so he's trying to get the guys in a little early, changing up the routine a little bit because he didn't want them to get too comfortable.
Yeah.
Because after that loss to Hillsborough, which, like I said, was a tough loss, they kind of put it into another gear because they saw where they were lacking a little bit with experience and the youth that they have. They have a lot of returning players, but a lot of them didn't get a lot of tick last season.
Yeah,
so now they trying to feel themselves out. They finding players and stuff, and they have great players: Chris Claybrooks, Kendall Johnson, I think it's the Marquez Courtner. So it's gonna be an exciting one.
Courtner plays for.
Courtner
plays for East.
It's
Claybrooks is the man.
Yeah.
But I want to get these ACs and these assistant sports information directors, and Chris got trained on Friday. We got a little rough time with it, but you did all right. Train on doing stats. How did it feel? Now you know when you do the stats for those games that they're official stats, and they go to the newspapers, they go everywhere. What you did, so you officially did stats. How did you feel doing those stats, and how you a little bit more comfortable doing them now?
Yeah, and I felt I don't know what the word is. I felt like I was in charge. So it was a good feeling, even though I messed up a few times.
200 tackles.
Yeah, Gage didn't have 200 tackles. I know it looks like that every week, but he did a great job. And one of the things when he did, I had to go in and try to quickly do some changes on there. Why it's live. It's like at real time. You can't like say, hold up, y'all. You got to quickly do it. When I got down and I got used to getting back in, he said, Mr. Wallace, can I go back and do it? I was like, sure, because he was willing to get back in there instead of I messed up and sulking and I can't believe I did that. He was able to do that, and I really appreciate that. And Tiffany, we was trying to get the sideline thing going on. You was ready though. I really appreciate she was ready. She asked me, can I need to take my earrings off, or do I need to do that? And I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if I told you this on Friday, but Coach Waite was raving about how professional you were when you went up to him and talked to him. How did you feel about that situation?
I felt great about that. I was kind of nervous at first, but then once I got there, I was cool.
Yeah, and you were able to take the stats to him and all that good stuff. So this SID program that you're doing, how different do you feel like that? Because you seem to be an introverted young lady. Do you feel like you're getting out of that shell a little bit now as the weeks go on?
Yeah.
Because of this program, do you think that's the?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, but we appreciate what you all doing, and again every week they getting better and better, Jason. I'm about to let it loose and go sit home, and it's getting cold outside. I can sit at home.
It was started raining, so everybody wanted to go under the shelter.
Yeah,
I was about to push them out of there.
Yeah,
I don't have any security on. I don't know what that led to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I sat over there with them a couple different times, and everybody seemed to have a good time, and everybody looked good up there in their blue shirts.
They
together,
did,
and we had a pretty good go of it this Friday, and
outside
of the scoreboard. Yeah. But other than that, I'm glad they're able to get some on field, well, not on field experience, but real life
close
experience.
To the field. Yeah.
And you got to see Junior in action at a high school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm still biased toward Wallace's sales.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? We can't.
The sales.
You guys got it started. We're just trying to take it to a whole nother level. That's all.
Yeah, and I like the team that we have constructed here. And again, Jason, man, we were.
I'm gonna bring you guys out of retirement.
Yeah.
I want y'all to know that. So don't be surprised if we on air and I just come and just
hand us the
toss it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'll call a game right now.
You're supposed to be ready, right?
I'll call a game. I'll call a backyard football game. I'll call a pee-wee game.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm getting right here is in 2 weeks. When your alma mater play against my alma mater, we gonna have you up in the booth going at it. You know what I'm saying?
Then he said he ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
His hand up.
Bench press fans, you heard it. Jason Sales. I got it. Jason Sales, a Maplewood alum, will be in the booth.
Player. And y'all was probably in school at the same time.
We was.
Okay.
We was.
All right.
So he witnessed some of them L's we gave him. We took one. Now, we took some too when I was in school. But when we had it rolling, didn't nobody want to see us.
All right. We're going to take a break. This is getting exciting up in here. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to have the news by, and I know Miranda don't get mad at me. I didn't forgot the little young lady.
Melody Scale.
Melody Scale. That's where you got the scales from.
Jason is here. You know
so take it away, Melody. And we'll be right back after Melody does the news. We'll be right back here on the Benchpress with more. We'll be right back.
This is the TSU News Network, bringing you the news from Tennessee State University, Nashville, and the world.
Good evening. It is 5 o'clock, and for the TSU News Network, I'm Melody Scales.
The Supreme Court rejects gay marriage repeals from 5 states today. The Associated Press reports that this rejection is paving the way for the immediate expansion of gay and lesbian unions. The repeals came from Oklahoma, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin. The court's orders will end the delays in those states immediately, making couples in 6 other states able to get married. This will make same-sex marriage legal in 30 states and the District of Columbia. A public safety officer buys a car seat for a young mom in Emmett Township, Michigan. Fox 17 News reports that Ben Hall was patrolling when he pulled over a vehicle for a traffic violation. In the car, he noticed a small child in a seatbelt but not in a car seat. The mother told Hall that she understood the importance of the car seat but could not afford one because of her limited income. Instead of giving the mother a ticket, Hall had the mother pull into a nearby Walmart and he purchased a car seat for her in order to keep her daughter safe. Doctors at Vanderbilt University Medical Center urge teenagers to stop the fire challenge. News Channel 2 reports that teens pour flammable liquids on themselves and intentionally set themselves on fire. Dr. Blair Summit, the medical director for the burn unit, says it only takes a few seconds for someone to get a third-degree burn. Summit wants parents to be aware of this problem. Police arrest a Middle Tennessee State University softball coach for driving under the influence. News Channel 2 reports that an officer says he noticed 27-year-old Kelly Montalvo speeding and crossing the center line several times when he conducted a traffic stop. Arresting officers reported that not only did she have bloodshot eyes and smell of alcohol, but she also failed the sobriety test poorly. Montalvo has coached at MTSU for 2 years. Freshman retention hits an all-time low this year. Only 40% of freshmen come back after their first year, which means 60% do not come back. However, the freshman delegation of the Student Government Association prepared a week-long awareness week starting tonight to help encourage students to come back and encourage them to keep up with the schoolwork. The event kicking off Freshman Retention Week tonight starts at 6 in the Humanities Auditorium. You better bring your umbrellas because your forecast for tonight calls for an 80% chance of rain with a low of 55. Tomorrow there will be a 70% chance of a thunderstorm with a high of 81. Currently it is 75 degrees. And for the TSU News Network, I am Melody Scales.
This has been a production of the TSU News Network.
You're listening to WTN Tribune Radio, home of the Hour of Power, the Benchpress Sports Show. Tune in right here every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time on WTN Tribune Radio.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
All right, we're back on the bench press, and then we're going through this last hour. We down here now, Jason.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'm here.
Food to get
That's
to.
That's all we can say. I'm here. You know, it's been a while since I've been able to just stay in for the whole time.
You don't know about the second hour.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. I got to refresh my
He's missed the
recollection.
catering.
Them relatives at lunch, eat and run. You know how they go. You know,
he missed the catering and the
Right.
dancing and we had parties. No, just
See, they would try to get me in trouble.
All I got to say is Trey. Everybody know Trey.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing about that. And ain't trying to pay no late fee for that daycare. That's all.
I hear you. A couple of headlines I want to talk about while we're trying to get Penny Collins on the phone with Brian Collins. Okay, I gotta call him by his government name. I don't want to call him Penny. But a couple of headlines. The NFL is going to have the draft going to different places instead of New York in 2015. Tony,
he gonna be excited.
It's gonna be in Chi.
Yes.
So that means we staying with Coach T. He got
There
the
you
discount
go.
for us
There
and
you
stuff,
go.
so we can just go down there and have a good
We're
time.
gonna get downtown Chicago, man. We're gonna eat some pizza. Get y'all some hoagies, some real food.
Pizzeria Uno or Pizzeria Do. I'm there.
No, we ain't doing no Pizzeria
Giordano.
We're going to Giordano.
I want some gorgeous popcorn. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want some popcorn, some shrimp.
Some Gary. Yeah, we're gonna do all that.
No, we don't go to Gary. I'm gonna stay out of Gary.
Drive through.
Yeah,
Wave.
yeah. But that's a big thing that's going on next year, 2015, in Chicago. It's going to be the NFL draft, and we're excited about that. Of course, being from the area, that's going to be a good thing. And being a football fan from that area, I may just have to do something like that. And Tony, we got bunk beds to the mama's house.
Hey man, we still got it, man. Hey, we up north, we got basement. You can fall out
there you go.
You got me a spot on the floor.
You got me a spot on the floor. I just need a pillow and some cover. We good.
I tell you, it's so funny that, Scott. They said this push was actually Roger Goodell doing because they really wanted to go back to Los Angeles, and he really pushed and fought for it to come to Chicago. Now I don't know if he's got close ties to the mayor or whomever. But it was a good look to come back to the city, man. This is the first time I think Chicago's had it since like the, I don't know, was it the 60s, 70s?
Yeah, before they started doing it in New York.
Yeah.
I guess he's trying to get Obama down there,
Yeah, get some votes.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make get the Chicago vote.
I take that, but I don't know if I want to take the Super Bowl at Soldier Field. I don't think I can.
Hey, that may be a little bit
They did it in New York last year.
That's true, though.
But snow off, so hey.
Yeah, but Chicago's a little bit different. We on that. Yeah, we on that lake. I've been in some games like that. I cried to my dad. They want to go to the Bears. No more. When I was little, he took me out. Come on, boy. I remember the one of the last games of the season he took us to, and it was in December, and it was against Green Bay, and Green Bay kicked our tails, and I didn't want to be there. I was ready to go home.
And it ain't no joke. And speaking of Chicago, Scott, I'm loving it tonight because my beloved Bulls and Derrick Rose get back on the south side, on the west side of the city against Washington, who put them out of the playoffs. But we didn't have D Rose, baby. So tonight we got 4 games kicking off in the NBA tonight. With
preseason
Philadelphia
already.
and Boston at 7:30. New Orleans and Atlanta, followed by the Bulls. And the late night tonight, fellas, is Denver Nuggets and that boy from up the street, the Manimal, playing against the Lakers.
Oh yeah,
Kobe back.
Yeah, and basketball season already. It's cold outside.
Let's go Grizz.
And some Grizzly fans.
Let's go Grizz, man.
Grizzly fan in the house, and
they looking good.
They do look real good.
Big pickup by Michael Beasley.
Yes, sir. And Vince Sanity.
Just
gotta stay healthy.
Yeah,
Stokes gets to learn behind Zach Randolph.
Which better person?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for him to learn behind.
And on top of it,
one right hand, one left handed.
You know what I'm saying? If he start acting crazy, call mama. Mama right down the street, around the corner.
Yeah. Call Green Mile.
Oh yeah,
exactly. But Z-Bo, man, has been great for the community. Do a lot of stuff. So to get Stokes there, I mean, like you said, a native from Memphis.
Exactly.
Get an opportunity to go back on. Not a lot of kids, like D Rose, the last one I think they picked up, one back to his home city.
Back home.
So and then I've had an opportunity to actually coach Stokes during his high school time here in Nashville, a couple of all-star events, a couple of camps, and he's a good kid. He's always been a soft-spoken kid. I thought he needed to push a little beast in him, but now, man, he went to UT and took him a couple of years to wake up, and now go home and to say my teacher's going to be Z-Bo.
Oh, yeah.
And I get to play down in the post with him and Gasol.
Oh, yeah. So, his game is going to all the way just develop even more because now he's going to be able to kind of step away from the basket and show that even though he's a big guy, he's still quick enough to get past a lot of those forwards in the league. So.
And think about putting Michael Conley in that pick-and-roll game, baby.
Yeah,
put Beasley over there in the corner. You can go big with Conley,
right?
And just go 4 bigs with him, and let's get it.
The West is they're stacked as usual. Houston's still coming up, Portland's still there, San Antonio, the defending champs, the Clippers, the Thunder, and so when the Grizzlies were put out in the first round, they're like, oh man, do y'all not realize what they were stacked up against?
Exactly.
And so, even with all these great pickups, it's not an easy road for them. We're looking and thinking, man, what a great Vinsanity, great pickup, Stokes. They should have a great season. Well, they still have to go to San Antonio and OKC and L.A. a few times a year to play. The Lakers aren't going to be the same Lakers we saw last year. Kobe's got if there's nothing else about Kobe Bryant, I don't care that he's 36 years old and coming off a torn Achilles. He's still the Black Mamba, and he is angry that he didn't get to play last year, and he doesn't want to see another season like that. And so they've rebuilt. So it's going to be a tough season, but definitely going to be heading down 40 West a couple times this year to see some games.
Cleveland opened up last night. They picked a quick victory up last night.
They did.
They started out kind of slow.
Yeah, they still got some kinks. Right.
But, to see him and Kevin Love them fit together and Kyrie Irving just out on that wing, baby. And, you got Waiters and all that that's doing this thing, starting to tie in. So I know you're a West guy, but East is back. East is back going to be what's right there. I think on the East side of the house, they're calling for Cleveland and the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's going to be kind of interesting.
Even
to see Miami fall, drop.
And they might not fall as low as a lot of people think. If they can keep a healthy D-Wade, they can at least make a push for one of them top four. I don't think they're gonna get past.
I think they can get past the first round. Point guard.
Yeah, I can't be
sold on the team with Chalmers and no LeBron on the team. Yeah. But another team you mentioned earlier, the Wizards. That's just another team that that backcourt of Bill and John Wall. All they're gonna do is get better. And the he's still coming off of some issues that he's gonna get healthier. So Paul Pierce is down there now. So it's not as open as the East as people think. But
you put that backcourt, like you said, that Bill and John Wall. Oh man, that's just that's interesting. But it's funny because like you said, I look at the teams in the East. I think your boy Jordan finally got a squad. Down there.
He
sleep on that. But you better watch out for the Pelicans. Because the way Anthony Davis played in the Olympics and these guys
he
come
doing
back.
nothing but getting better.
Drew Holiday's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. It should be a very interesting NBA season throughout.
All right, on the line, we talking basketball now. One of the guys that I admire a lot, basketball right here in Nashville, Tennessee, went to Whites Creek High School, and
we're not gonna slide him for that.
Yeah, then we went over to Belmont
I know he really
University.
Didn't have no choice.
Went over to Belmont University and all that. Now he's coaching at the Columbia State, and that made a long run in the junior college playoffs last year.
Defending coach of the year.
Yeah, and he has one of the best players in the nation this year. What's going on, Brian Penny Collins?
Man, doing good, man. Y'all making me sound like I'm important, man.
Hey, you are, Penny. This is what we do, man.
McKinley Young Jr. and Tony Thompson in the house. I'm sure you know a lot about those two guys.
Yes, sir. Hey, two good men with you right there.
Oh, the check is definitely in the mail when you say that.
Oh yeah. We'll make I'll talk to you off air, man.
All right, no doubt.
Penny, man, you got an exciting year coming up, man. We was hoping that you would take that next step, but hey, going back to Columbia State wasn't that bad. You got one of the top players in the nation coming in a great recruiting class. Talk about what you expect this year out of your team.
Man, I'm excited about this year's team. We're getting a lot of press clippings, a lot of articles, a lot of preseason rankings, and people are saying that young man T.J. Dunnins that committed to Auburn, a lot of rankings got him as the number one player in the country, and that's all good and dandy. And I always tell my players that's cute. That's what cute stuff. But at the end of the day, we want to be ranked at the end of the season. We want to be the team that's got the gold ball, these preseason rankings and all that stuff. It's all good for them. But at the end of the day, we tell them every day how unimportant that is. It's the most irrelevant stat there is, a preseason ranking. It's good for the news and it's good for for us to get those recognitions. But we got bigger things on our mind and that try to win a national championship this year.
And you talk about TJ, how having him on campus and the success you have last year, how important is that for your recruiting in the future years?
It's really important. There's not a recruit that I talk to that we don't mention, our success from last year and TJ's success of him being being player of the year last year and the conference and freshman of the year and first team All-American, and everybody knows about him dropping 50 points in the national tournament. And then just the college coaches that have came down here and that have called my phone, from Bobby Huggins and Bruce Pearl and so on and so forth. I met so many people just that wanted to get involved with him and to see him, just continue to grow as a young man and become the player that he has become on the floor and off the floor. It's just an exciting time for Columbia State. And, his decision to go to Bruce Pearl at Auburn University is, I don't think he could have made a better decision and a better program and a better person to play for.
Hey, Penny, we all know about TJ, so kind of let the world know about a couple of guys you may have brought in or a couple of guys who didn't play as much last season that's going to get a lot more tick that we need to be looking out for.
Okay, absolutely. Well, our starting point guard from last year is back. To me, he's one of the best junior college point guards in the nation. His name is Justin Pride. He's from Huntsville, Alabama. He led the country in assists last year, over 8 assists a game. He's a leader. He's a winner. He won 3 state championships in high school, and, he was our captain on this team. Him and TJ were the captains of a team last year who, finished 3rd in the country. So the guy is just a winner. Really excited to have him back. We had a young man named A.J. Dodd who sat out last year as a freshman, redshirted. He's from Jackson, Tennessee. Very good player. Played at Jackson Central Mary. A lot of people are going to be excited to watch A.J. Dodd play next year. And then a lot of people know about, we got 2 really good, we got 4 transfers in. 2 local guys, Jamonte Davis and Jamonte Graham, both transferring from Tennessee State. Jamonte Graham played at Father Ryan, and Jamonte Davis played at Hillsborough. So those 2 guys are going to bring in a lot of experience playing at that level. Jamonte Davis practicing last year for Tennessee State. We're very excited about those 2 guys. Blake Johnson is a transfer from MTSU. He's from Memphis, Tennessee. Another guard, very good player, point guard. He's going to be exciting to watch. And then the last guy is a guy named, his name is TJ as well, which is crazy. We got TJ, 2 TJs, and 2 Jamontes. So I call one name, everybody turns around. But this other guy, TJ Cromer, we call him Block. But Block is from Albany, Georgia. He transferred to us from Eastern Florida Community College. And he's getting recruited right now by a lot of people. He's a 6'3" guard. And as you can see, we're going to have a very good crop of guards. And we got a bunch of really good front court players. We got last year's team, we only had one guy that was 6'5", and he was a monster. This year we got 4 guys over 6'8", and we're going to be a lot longer and a lot deeper this year.
Coach Penny, this is Coach Tony. That's exactly what I was going to ask you about. You got Gondas down there. You got a couple other guys. So, it's very difficult sometimes, especially when you're sitting in a situation, pick up a lot of post players, especially a big post player. And like you said, normal post, 6'5", 6'6". How, with the system that you run, you're going to be able to fit those 4 post players in that's running at 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" for you.
Yeah. Well, that has been an interesting part of our preseason is trying to figure out how we're going to be able to play the way we want to play this year with the bigger guys. But one thing about our guys, they're all quick. They're not the big 6'8", slow running, slug type of big men. These guys are, even Gonda, these guys can get out and run, and they can run like guards. Some of our big men have been winning our sprints. This lets you know how athletic they are. And we're going to press. We're going to press. We're going to be rotating guys. Our defense is what we hang our hat on. We're going to be doing a lot of trapping, a lot of running, a lot of quick shots on offense, trying to score a lot of points. Not really trying to run too much for the big man to have to think too much, but they have simple roles, and that's block shots, rebound, and play defense. And whatever they get out their rim, that's when they eat. So we're going to just continue to rotate those 4 guys and just see where it goes, man. We didn't have that luxury last year, so the good thing about having it now is that nobody can just relax.
Exactly.
You're not playing well, we rotate.
Yeah.
So, but you're not playing hard, we rotate. So one of them got to be ready to go.
running that open offense system that you got. How difficult was it, kind of having to get the high school kids to kind of understand the college game?
It's been difficult, especially with us having almost 9 new guys this year. We just really take our time and break it down. We'll go 3-on-3, just 3 guys, and then we'll turn it into 4 guys, and then we'll have 5 guys, and we really try to break things down to simplify it for them. So this is a process, and our first scrimmage game is this Friday against Cumberland University, and we won't be there yet. We're not there yet, but the goal is to get there by the end of the month to try to be as close as we can to top notch, and it's going to be a process. And we're nowhere where we want to be right now.
All right, Coach. We appreciate you calling, man. I'm getting my voice ready. I got a lot of time on my hand this year.
Oh yeah.
So Tony's laughing. He knows why.
I know I put that in. We're in the process of getting some dates down now for you. Those listeners out there, Scott Wallace will be down at Columbia State this year doing some games, some live commentary for the game. We're excited about that. Real excited about that.
I'll be excited to do your games too, man. And we appreciate you and your family, man. Your parents. I love them. Your sister, your family, a great family, and we really appreciate what you do. And we're definitely gonna be supporting you in all your endeavors. We're proud of you, man.
Thank y'all so much, and thanks for having me on.
All right, this isn't the last time, man.
At all.
Right.
Got to give a shout out to my high school coach, Coach Collins, for going into the hall. Make sure you tell Pops I said congratulations and everything. And hey, can't wait to see you on that sideline, man. We always knew that you was gonna grow up to be a coach.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Now I'm gonna put the pressure on y'all. Y'all do all these high school games, Maplewood, White Creek games, all that live broadcast. We got to get a Columbia game broadcast.
Oh, that's not but a word.
You said it, so it's done.
It's done.
All right. We need to get that done. We're going to blow Twitter up, blow Facebook up.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm going to call you right after the show. I'm going to call you right after the show. We're going to get that done, for real. We can do that.
All right. Say no more. And we got plenty of good games coming up. I'm doing some exciting stuff this year. As you guys know, as JUCO coaches, we got to do it all. So I'm doing some marketing. I'm doing some marketing stuff this year where my dad is in a group called the Boys, and they tailgate.
Oh, yeah, I already know. Fish University.
Yeah, Fish games and TSU games. So they're actually coming down here to do a game, too, with the music and the food. And
yeah,
we're trying to make Columbia
We're definitely doing that game.
Yeah, we're trying to do something special.
Tailgate.
Yeah. Everybody said, you said tailgate, everybody going down.
Food and all that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Penny.
Sounds good, guys.
We'll talk to you after the show.
All right, sounds good. Y'all enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.
All right, Penny Collins. And
it's all about who you know.
Hey, there you go. I didn't know they didn't have a radio team. Now they about to have an official one.
Well, guess what? They can just come up under the ram.
Scott, we doing big things. How it is. You got to do all that work by yourself.
Oh, I know. I know.
You put a crowd on a radio station and push the button like you're in a big crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But I mean, one of the great basketball minds. And I was lobbying for it. I really wanted him to be wearing blue. Hey man, and if you see, and I'm looking at the guys on this team, and he got some guys from around here. He probably grab anybody he wants. That could not get into a Division I school, Jason. But I'm looking at these guys that he's recruited. He had a guy from Serbia or something like that last year. But the guys from Georgia, got guys from all over Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Alabama. He's just not grabbing. He could take a team from Nashville and probably win, but he's grabbing these other guys. So that shows his versatility in recruiting.
Yeah, and I heard the name. I recognized Jamonte Graham. Actually, I had classes with him here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So,
and you know who his brother is?
Yep.
You know his brother. Oh, you don't?
I don't.
You know who his brother is?
Jamie
Graham.
Well, okay.
Enough said.
There's the athleticism.
There you go. So Jamie Graham is his brother, and so. I definitely, and if I assume that they already had a radio team, so maybe that's another notch on our belt.
Yeah,
I tell you, Scott,
can you do basketball, Chris? Can you do basketball? All right.
Hey, that's the type of guy I like.
Yeah. What'd you say, Tony?
Take it out.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I think he's versatile. That's all.
All right, so
Chris might be able to hoop, man. He got some height on him,
yeah,
man.
He does.
Yeah, shout it out now.
I played back in Jerry Baxter.
Did you?
And
I didn't.
Knee, so I haven't played
I didn't. So you can beat me. That wasn't a challenge.
Yeah. But we already got us a sideline reporter. We got us a stat guy. We got us we got it going on. I want to see Jason do some basketball online.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Jason on the basketball team.
I want to see him do a radio with.
Oh man,
I'm sure he.
A little quick. He can handle that.
Hey,
I can handle a little bit.
I get it, man.
I can tell you when there's a 2-3 zone and the diamond and one. I can tell you that stuff.
There was a pace, but just keeping the pace going, right?
Well, see, that might see. That got my issue right there. That's why I played football.
Hey, just follow me, man. Yeah, just follow me. I got you.
That's why I played football, because pace isn't my thing.
Right, and you get the rest for 30 seconds.
There you go.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, it ain't going down like that on that court, baby.
Right, man. I tell you, I know much luck to Coach Penny, man. Columbia State. I've seen the program over the last few years, Scott, just transition into something just great. And to get him back, because they almost lost him, obviously, and to get him back for this season and have an opportunity not only to get him back, but to get a team well put together with a lot of the good kids locally. JD's going to be huge pickup. He was injured, coming off that injury.
Wasn't that the one in the car accident?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So to get him to come in and play, he give you a big guy, and like you said, you got big guys that can actually run the floor. That's the major difference when you got a big team and it can't, but you got kids to run the floor.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And it's right down 65.
Yeah, baby. Ain't too far away.
Yeah, it's a little ways, but we gonna make sure.
And you can take the radio show this time. He said,
"Hey man,
hype the campus up, baby."
Trust me, he will be blowing us up. Yeah. Like after he talked to Scott, he gonna call me. Like, hey, make it happen.
I'm ready for that. I feel embarrassed. I didn't know that. I would have that'd have been one of the first guys I would have called and done radio for basketball. But yeah, so he does. High school basketball is on Tuesdays and Fridays. He's Saturday, so
hey, we Friday, Saturdays. Yeah,
we'll make it happen. Even sometimes if we can just do one game of the week and have to swing it, cut it.
Yeah, we can do.
We get it done.
All right, so. I'm excited about that, and of course, we wish him well. Of course, one of the nicest guys that you're going to ever meet is Penny Collins with his family and everybody there, close-knit family. Like you said, Mac, his dad was just inducted into the Metro Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
And I'm embarrassed. He was right on campus where I work, and I didn't know that he was getting it. And I left work, and I saw the cars there that day, and I looked in the paper the next day. I was like, I could have went to the thing. Yeah. I had no suit on that day, but I'd have went.
Yeah, he was clean as a whistle. That's Coach Collins, though. He stayed clean. If he wasn't nothing else, he was clean. They said, like you said, man, a great man. He did a lot for our community in North Nashville over at Pearl-Cohn. We came up a little short, 3 straight years going to the state. We gonna call people who went to the state and saw us play. They know the reason why I don't have 3 rings in basketball to go with my 2 in football, but it's okay.
There you go with them rings.
There you go again.
Hey man, when you got them, you gotta flaunt them because I ain't been back. I went to 2 national championships in college, but hey, I ain't get no ring because we ain't come out victorious. So.
But again, Penny Collins, Jason, man, I just keep talking about that. I'm excited about that. That's just another feather in the cap for the WTN Tribune Radio and doing games for him. I do that all day long. I want to do some traveling. They go to some nice little areas too.
Yes, sir.
They went to Kansas City. I would love to go to Kansas City with them again. I already feel like
barbecue.
Yeah, really. I already feel like they're going to be one of the teams to go there. And Jason, you ready to roll?
Huh? There you go. What you say? All you got to do is put the car. Let's go.
Yeah, tell me when to be there. Yes, I'll make sure the homework is done to do it on the road.
Right. Yep. So I'm excited about that, and we are we're about to get in touch with another caller, and a lot of basketball heavy today. I got 2 basketball players in the house.
This is what we got to do, man. We getting ready. Preseason, we got some things that we working with. I got to talk to Coach T about them. Some things that me and Scott was just kind of spitting out some ideas one day, trying to how we gonna try to hype basketball season up a little bit more. Since we kind of last year we got started late with it, second semester. Now we get a full season to kind of get everything going.
Kind of like Coach Mason, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Got to do everything better.
Hopefully not like Coach Mason.
Yeah, hopefully not. But
we winning right now.
On the line, we have Antoine Wynn. He's an NBA referee. He's calling in. We appreciate it. All the way from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Naptown.
Naptown. I got to show it. Of course, that's God's country.
See, there he go.
What's going on, Antoine?
Not much. How you guys doing?
All right, man. You were last week. I see a friend of ours because we have Tosca Jackson who's called in, and she was our Indianapolis correspondent calling in a few times last year, and that's your aunt, correct?
Correct.
All right. And she called me. She hit me on Facebook. Just so excited about you being moved up to the NBA ranks, and she told me something about when you parked in the garage, you parked next to some Lexuses and things like that. How was that experience when you pulled up in the garage for that game, for that practice?
It was just shocking, because I saw, all kind of different cars, Lamborghinis, Mercedes-Benzes, all the top-notch cars. It was an eye-opening experience.
Right. And then she said something about you were Donnie Walsh and Larry Bird and them were giving you kudos. How did that feel? You've been reffing. It's not like you just started reffing. How long have you been reffing, and how did it feel about you? Go ahead.
I've been reffing 23 years. It was very exciting for Larry Bird and Donnie Walsh paid me a compliment. You know, Larry Bird's a nice guy, but he's kind of quiet, kind of standoffish in a way, but it was very pleasing for him to give me a compliment.
Right now, you ref at this level, at the high school level, at the college level. What is your chances with getting up to the NBA level, or maybe even the D League level?
I think it's very high right now. I've refereed on the high school level, all 3 levels of college. So I've been doing, like I said, 23 years, and I got a chance to do some NBA basketball. So I can do it. It's all about having an opportunity and knowing the right people to get there.
All right, and if you get a game in Memphis or in Atlanta, that's kind of close to us, man. We want to make sure.
Shout out,
we're gonna come holler at you. And then maybe we can get some closer seats since you refereeing the game. Just in case. I just tell them that I'm just evaluating your talent and all that good stuff. How about that?
Okay, it works.
Now, what was the most exciting thing about being? Were you overwhelmed by that? What was your mindset once you got on the floor with those NBA players this past week?
Well, actually, to be honest, not trying to be cocky or arrogant, it didn't. It was like refereeing a normal game. It was just a bigger arena. I just went out there and just made my calls like I normally would. It wasn't overwhelming to me at all. Because I figured I was supposed to be there anyway. So
like that.
That was just my mindset.
Got to claim it.
So you trying to be in the ranks of the Dick Bavetta of the world? I always like the names of the referees in the NBA, Dick Bavetta and
Haywood Work.
As a matter of fact, Dick Bavetta is my favorite referee.
Is he?
Retired.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites too because he was a colorful guy, and you guys like Joey Crawford.
Crawford,
and
got
all
my guy.
Got to say Joey.
Joey Crawford.
Joey gonna get it done.
Steve Javi.
Yeah, Javi.
Those are some of my favorite guys. Who do you emulate? And that's just funny to ask a referee who you emulate. Usually as athletes, but who do you emulate your calling on with? Who would you say?
What you talking about? One of the current NBA officials right now?
Current or whatever. Who do you look up to?
Well, Dick Bavetta's one. I've always admired him because he's been around the game a long time. So I always kind of try to pattern my game around his. But it takes a long tenure to get to his status. But actually, I started off fishing, like I said, 23 years ago, and a guy by the name of Wayne Hobson. He brought me in. I was 26 years of age. He brought me in and, showed me the light, and I moved up, rather quickly. So he was the one who inspired me to be an official, and I just kind of moved up from there.
Right. Now, you said each level. Give us an idea of one of the most important games that you've done. If you've done a Indiana high school championship game or a college game, give us the most important game that you've refereed.
Well, as far as the high school level, I've done a semi-state on the high school level. On the college level, you start at Division III at first. Division III, I've done a championship game at Division III level. Division II, I've done semifinals, and on the Division I level, I work in the Horizon League, and that's teams of like Butler used to be in that conference years ago, but like Cleveland State,
Loyola,
University of Illinois Chicago, University of Wisconsin Green Bay, schools of that nature. I've worked in the quarterfinals of that conference.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you calling in, man. And again, we looking for you. We're looking for you on NBA TV, on ESPN or something like that. And we know. Well, see, I always watch the referees. A lot of people say, it's a good game if you don't know who's reffing. But I always looked at that because I remember when the Bulls was playing, when a certain referee was there, we knew that they was in trouble. So we always, that made me, and that was Steve Javi. So, but we appreciate.
Steve Javi, he just retired a few years ago with knee problems. He didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. He tee you up in a minute, quickly.
Ask Barker.
Yeah.
Joey Crawford.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, man. And we're looking out, and good luck to you, man. And we hope that, we see you next year. This year.
I appreciate it.
All right. That's Antoine Wynn. And, Tony, you got a chance to ref the Scott Wallace All-Star game.
Yes, sir. With the professionalism. He was on it in position every time.
Had a little referee experience in my background.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but, guys like that, you really root for them because you want to make sure that, guys that worked hard and got in the system and did all they could. He said he Division III, high school, and he's up into the ranks of being in a pro right now. We just hope that, because I know him. I know his auntie, but I hope that he's able to do that. 23 years, and he said he pulled up. He said the quote was, "I got a nice car." He didn't say what kind of car he got, but he said he looked like he was slumming when he went in that locker, when he went in that garage.
But and it got to be. And Scott, you know the funny part about it, and you know it from calling our games so many times. As a coach on the sideline, we get to know the refs. Mm-hmm. So in that Horizon League, there's a lot of the schools who know them. So to take that hat off and try to separate that friend on that sideline and got to be able to call it a fair game, that gets to be difficult because, on a bad call, whether you my boy or not, I'm going to get all over you because at the end of the day, I'm trying to pick up a W. Yeah. So, and to see him being able to come up and, I'm sure he – I like to see those referees who thought I was a funny coach on the sideline as the referees who educated as well as called the game. Exactly. I'm going to let certain things go. I'm going to let you play in the hole because I know, Jason thing, down that paint, we won't let you bang, But if you start grabbing out around the perimeter, that's a whole nother ball game because, you can't impede the path of the player. Right. So when you get a good referee that can do that, that's why Scott always liked Joey Crawford when he turned to the pro. I know Pavetta was your boy, but I always thought Crawford called a great game. He's pretty laid back, he'll let you go to a certain extent. When you cross that line,
it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. So,
All right. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the NCAA football that happened this past weekend. Crazy, crazy weekend. We're going to get into some talks about that. We'll be right back here on the Bench Press.
Back our final segment. We'll explain later. Maybe we won't. Y'all don't know what's going on in here. That's all right. We got again, football season. The weekend is over with now. Well, football weekend isn't officially over with until about 10:30 tonight our time.
I'm glad this weekend is over.
But Tennessee, all Tennessee teams didn't fare too well. TSU takes one on the chin. Vanderbilt loses. UT loses. And the Titans, again, we discussed a little bit earlier in the show, blowing a big lead. The largest comeback lead by
any
road
team in the NFL. Road team.
So therefore, you give UT probably the best game of the weekend.
Yep, pretty. As far as Tennessee teams,
schools, yeah.
And it hurts my heart to say that,
but it's hard to win. And it's hard to win a football game with just field goal. But it was a great game.
It was a great game.
Looking around the league, Saturday again, I didn't get to sit on the couch and watch as much football as I wanted to this weekend. But Saturday,
you got to start with Thursday first.
We'll go back to Thursday.
Saturday.
Oregon comes out. Maybe the number 2 team in the nation. They were the number 2 team in the nation. A lot of people's locks for being in the inaugural playoff system. Arizona, the Wildcats, Rich Rod.
Michigan fans are very upset right now.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a Michigan fan, you've had a pretty bad past 10 days with the Brady Hoke situation with the quarterback and kind of just again that whole
that was a whole pretty mess. Much throwing them under the bus.
Hey, but they probably smile on the back end because I heard today on the way to the station that Harbaugh is not going to re-up his contract next year. He's going to come to Michigan. So that's the latest.
Ohio State fans, beware. If it happens, beware.
Yeah, Urban Meyer, he's gotten himself into I thought he probably was going into a situation where he felt he was going to have a little more control, didn't have to go through some of those SEC teams, and he doesn't. But he still has to see Michigan State and the Nebraskas, and so things haven't gone the way he's playing so far for him up there.
One thing you can't really rule out, don't be surprised if Urban Meyer go back to Florida. Don't rule it out.
I don't think they'll welcome him back
I don't
there.
think they'll welcome him
no,
back
after you retire,
hey,
and say that you're done with football, then you come. I don't think they're gonna welcome him back. But carrying on with some more of these scores. The first time in history, I believe that 4 of the top 8.
I thought it was 4 of the top
6. 5 of the top 8 teams.
8 teams.
Took L's this weekend. Again, we just mentioned Oregon. Oregon loses to Arizona 31-24. Alabama loses to Ole Miss 17-23. TCU defeats Oklahoma 37-33. Auburn thrashes LSU 41-7. Texas A&M loses 48-31. Baylor does pick up a victory. One of the few teams in the top 10 that was able to win. And then UCLA wins 30-28. That game I actually got to watch a little bit of, and that was the Utah-UCLA.
Oh, yeah. That was
ended a little bit crazy and almost ended up where UCLA was able to pull off a victory. They were attempting last-second field goal. I believe it was from 53, if I remember right. Someone runs into the kicker, so they give him another shot 5 yards closer, and he still pushes a little bit to the right. So, again, the new rankings came out earlier today, and if I remember right,
I got them.
We got Coach Shields.
So we got, and here's what made me mad. I'm with Coach Cheswick because how do you have Auburn in the national championship game last year and you start this season off and they're not even ranked number 2? So to get them back where they got to be at, I mean, it's exciting. But you got top 10 right now. Florida State's number 1.
They shouldn't be.
Auburn's number 2.
I don't like them.
Mississippi State's number 3.
That's crazy.
Ole Miss is 4. Baylor at 5. Notre Dame is 6. Alabama drops all the way to number 7. You got Michigan State comes up to 8. TCU is 9, followed out by Arizona's 10. Now, how Oregon, number 2, fall below Alabama?
Because Oregon shouldn't have been number 2.
And they lost to an unranked team.
You look at their schedule, and I'm not knocking Oregon. Oregon is a great program. They have great football program, a great team, a great player in Mariota. But if you're going by who you play, if you're going by strength of schedule, they strength of schedule. When they jumped over Alabama to be number 2 the week when both of them played cupcakes and both of them destroyed it, I knew. I was just like, they're not completely ready. Because defensively, if you pound Oregon, they in trouble. Right. And that's exactly what Arizona did. Right. They pounded them, and they still did what the Big 12 do, and the Pac-12 do, and throw the ball around the field. But Oregon's defense is not number 2 worthy. Their offense may be, right, but defense is not. So just to see Mississippi State and Ole Miss in the top 5, who would have thought you would see that in our lifetime?
Now, Jason, I'm going to ask you a question on that. I just had a debate with someone this weekend. Will you see, and I can ask the fans out there too, will you see in this new format 2 or 3 SEC teams in this Final Four playing for this national championship?
I say no, unfortunately, because those 3 teams still have to play each other.
Yep.
So someone's going to beat someone who's going to beat someone. A few years ago in the Big 12, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma did the same thing. They all 3 were in the top 5, but everybody beat each other. And so it ended up being one team ended up going because that was a weird Big 12 rule. But then, with this committee, and, you can say what you want. You can say that you're unbiased or whatever. But if I coached at a school or I'm a graduate of a school and I have to look, and, right now the AP has Ole Miss and Mississippi State actually tied at number 3.
Right.
If I'm a Mississippi State graduate and I say, well, Ole Miss, sure, they beat Alabama. But I think Mississippi State probably deserves that shot if it comes down to where, again, you've only got 4 teams trying to get those spots, and we may only have 2 or 3 teams undefeated at the end of the season. So it's not a perfect system. It's a better system than what we had, but somebody's still gonna feel left out, and I think that's what's gonna become is the SEC always they always say they cannibalize themselves. Right. The SEC West is definitely gonna be like that. Ole Miss is knocked off Mississippi State. And Auburn knocked off LSU. Mississippi State knocked off Texas A&M. And now those schools are going to have to come back around and see each other. You got those 3 schools undefeated, but somebody has to see each other and lose.
Right. That's why I think that even coming to this playoff, they should have started this year and won 8. I know they're trying to get it, but they should have won 8. And the 8 would have gave them, it's only 2 extra weeks it would have cost them. Mm-hmm. Eliminate some of these bowl games they got. Yep. Go back to the old school where the national championship game played on the first of the year. And now you could have been able to, because right now, who's going to go to Poinsettia Bowl. I mean, they got some bowls out there you never heard of. You know,
the GoDaddy.com bowl.
Well, and we know what all the. I mean, even looking at like the TV, it's everything's driven by money. I mean, think about when West Virginia joined the Big 12. Everybody's like, oh, that's a great look for West Virginia to go to the Big 12. Of course, for the football team who has the athletic, they've got money to do that. But what about the lacrosse team who has to make that journey to Oklahoma, in the middle of the week, and the women's soccer team who has to get over there? So, everything is driven by money, and everything is really driven by football in this kind of sense. All those conference realignments, all these bowls. I think I read one time that literally if you've got enough money to start up a bowl and get some people behind you, if we wanted to, we could say we have the WTN Tribune Radio bowl.
Let's do it.
And let's go. We
and,
know people that know people.
All it is about bringing. You're just trying to bring in money. So I thought I had a good system of saying, like you said, take the top 3 bowls. The Rose, Orange, Fiesta, Sugar, and kind of incorporate those into it, which they've kind of done. And then if you want to do eight playoff teams, then you can include like the Cotton Bowl, the Music City Bowl, the some of those bowls like that. But then I know those guys are going to say, well, we've got agreements with SEC, Pac-12, and we don't want to break those agreements. And then the Big 12 and those conferences are going to say, wait a minute, that's another game for our school that you may take off the table. We're not doing that. So as much money is being brought in by the NCAA, they're still trying to get more money, and it'd be perfect for it to go that way, but it just won't happen because of the dollar signs.
I honestly believe the 4 best teams in the SEC West. The 4 best teams in the country. Right now, as we speak, playing. Maybe 5. If you throw Texas A&M or maybe LSU in there. Texas A&M, I can't really say so much of LSU, but
or Texas A&M.
The way,
not this year.
Texas A&M, they just got the one loss, though. You know what I'm saying? Their defense
is still a Big 12 defense.
Yeah, their defense has always been horrible like that. But if you look at the top 4 teams in the SEC West, and you go Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, and
that's Auburn
and Alabama. I honestly believe those 4 teams right there, right now, the way that they're playing, overall, can probably go and beat any team in the country.
What happened to LSU?
LSU, they're young. When you lose 13, 14 people every year on defense, especially to the league, like they having juniors that's just like, as soon as my junior year, I'm out. So you having to bring in new players each and every year and try to reload. We all know the SEC is the toughest conference in the country to play.
But
there's a lot of SEC schools that can.
Alabama's got the same problem.
Everybody loses the same players every year, and it's up to the coaching staff to get
It's all about recruiting. LSU may have recruited a good class, but a lot of those kids that they got, 4 or 5-star kids that came in, they just not ready to play college ball right now. Alabama has the luxury of they recruit 5 stars all the time. So the kid that they redshirted the year before that they knew wasn't ready, now he's ready to take their rings because they're used to that success. They're seeing it on an everyday basis. These linebackers, they seen C.J. Mosley play for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? C.J. saw Rolando McClain, Dante Hightower, things like that. And LSU, a lot of their key players don't stay all the way for 4 years like you get like that. So when you got to bring a kid in that maybe if your star would have stayed that one more extra year that they need this red shirt year, that's where the problem comes in. So
I don't know. I think it's hard too because when you have this situation, then you get hit with a lot of transfers.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't playing them out.
Exactly.
Looking at that top 10, Jay, who's the most surprised team that made up in that top 10 ranking?
Arizona.
Arizona's definitely the most surprised team.
I think my surprise is TCU.
And TCU's been one of those teams that I've liked for the past few years, simply because even in the Big 12, they don't have the Big 12 kind of mentality and fit that mold. They probably wouldn't be able to compete in the SEC, but they've got that kind of mold where they're going to go out and win games 28-21 instead of 48-41. Right. They play good defense. They're always going to bring in a pretty good quarterback, running back, but they're not going to bring in the guy who's going to throw the ball 70 times in a game. And the running backs ends up with 230 yards on the ground, 1,000 total yards of offense. So Arizona is definitely a surprise team, especially because everybody's pretty much ready to get rid of Rich Rod when he left Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But he's able to get things going around there. I mean, he's not that far from California. If you're a pretty good head coach, you can get down there in Arizona. You can tell a kid from California, hey, no, you want to play in the Pac-12? You come here and play with me, and you can still be 2 or 3 hours away from home and go back and visit instead of having to say, well, I want to go to USC, but I may never get to play. Well, come down here and put on the blue and red, and you can be a Wildcat.
And that's why it's so much parity now in college football or just in college sports, period. Because those kids now, the ones that you knew they were either going to USC, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, now they're going to the Baylors. They're going to the A&M, Texas A&M, the Texas Techs, the like Arizona State, schools like that, because they want to play. Back in the day, you was just happy to say, I play for Alabama. I may not see the field, but I'm on the team, I got a ring. These kids nowadays, they're so gifted athletically just off natural ability. Now it's just like, I can go anywhere and go play. Like, who would ever thought VCU would make it to a Final Four? Whoever thought Butler would make it to the championship game? Right. You know what I'm saying? So you find places. These kids now are more looking at places that they feel comfortable and where they can play instead of just places with names and notoriety and big name coaches.
You talked about the guys getting 3 and done in football, but in basketball, that's why the Baylors and the VCUs they stay. They just stay in. You got guys playing together for 4 years.
Instead of bringing in Coach Cal, you got the year they won the championship. Their top 6 players were all gone,
and they out.
And so again, like you said, there's parity for a number of reasons, and I think you touched on a good one, Scott. Of if I can go somewhere and I'm a pretty good player coming in, by the time I'm a senior, I may not be that great, but the kid next to me is okay, and he's okay, and he's okay. We're a bunch of good players instead of 2 really good players and some guys who are okay and just kind of there for centerpieces.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also look at some of these other schools. I know you kind of touched on it too, Mac, about when you grew up, there was probably a school that you wanted to go. Like when I grew up, I wanted to go to University of Miami. I didn't care what I was. If I was not going to be able to play football, baseball, basketball, I want to go to Miami. Well, you ask kids now, they don't care. They want to. They're going to go wherever they get their scholarship offer or whoever is kind of popular at the time. Nobody. If Saban left, there would be a ton of kids leave Alabama.
Oh yeah,
and none of those kids went to Alabama because I grew up as a Roll Tide fan, and my mom went there, my dad went there, my grandma was.
It's a few, and
is
a
booster there, but it's I want to play for Coach Saban instead of I want to play for Alabama. So you get things like that. And like you said, Coach Rod moving around. He was in 3 different schools in the past 8 or 9 years. There's a good example. Mike Leach also in Washington State, going from school to school. Bobby Petrino's back at Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's had kids follow him around. Gus Malzahn actually had Michael Dyer following him from Auburn to Arkansas and back to Auburn. So there's a good example of it.
Jason, the funny part about it, I just had a conversation earlier today with one of my assistant coaches that's on Florida's bench with Coach Donovan, and the point he was making this morning is you got to look at the social media now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He was saying that he was on last night or this weekend just on the Twitter and everything else till he got to the point where he just said, boom, enough is enough. I got to cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
See, you didn't have this back when you had great players like Deion Sanders, double duel, and things of that nature. And he was the best, probably 2-sport athlete we're gonna see. I know Bo Jackson had a good run at it, but outside them too, we have not seen a 2-sport athlete since Deion's days. So now you got these kids to say, okay, if I'm gonna come get recruited by Coach Mack, I'm gonna get connected to him. I feel that connection, especially if he's getting out there messing with me on Twitter and laughing and joking. I feel like he's in touch with me, and he's the only one that can make my game go from A to Z.
He actually cares about me.
And so if he leaves, I'm ready to leave and roll with him. And there's a good example of that. Unfortunately, Coach Mason's getting hit with that at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
When Coach Franklin left and went to Penn State,
decommitted.
Kids
decommitted from Vanderbilt.
He went back to and he started getting back in that back door of Pennsylvania. Started getting those kids back from Philly, from New York. And he went back to Penn State. Now they open the doors. NCAA said, "Hey, you now okay to make it
you
to
can
a bowl
go do
game."
this now.
And now they 4-1.
Yep.
And they rolling. And he's taking that opportunity to say, this is the land of recruiting, and this is what happened.
Yeah, that's why a lot of schools now look at coaches differently, because one thing that is a must nowadays, especially like you said, social media. You have to be able to connect to these kids, because this is the age of I'm gonna sit in here and play video games. I'm gonna be on Twitter. I'm gonna be on Facebook. I'm gonna be on all of this. Well, back in the day when we was out, if it was hot outside, even as long as it wasn't raining and your mama made you come in, you outside doing something. You playing playing backyard football out there on the court, sitting over there playing baseball with a tennis ball and a stick. You know, you doing different things. And nowadays, these kids pretty much just basically focus on one sport. Right. You barely see the kids that play 2 or 3 sports like we did coming up.
Yeah, Scott know that because them street lights. They don't know.
Yeah, you better get home.
Yeah, them street lights.
That's it.
And you better be ready to come in. So it's just that the nature thing. And the only thing I can say that comment on that, Mac, is in looking at my side of the game. I'm actually happy to see some of these kids who are becoming one-sport athletes. For the only reason is that the sports are now 365 days around the year, and they're not getting a chance to take off. So.
Right.
All right. We appreciate everything, man. We had a full show, a lot of talk, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of talk after we go off, but we got to get up out of here. For my
go eat.
They putting us out. We gotta go. We gotta go do these things now.
Yeah, they doing. They just flicked the lights on me a couple of times. So we like to thank Susan Lax from the University of Kentucky to call in. Also Matt Johnson, one of the top high school players in Chicago. We had Penny Collins, and we're gonna be out there for a little doing some things. Antoine Wynn, an NBA referee. Jason Sales, McKinley Young, Chris Clark, Tony Thompson, Tiffany Bird, Rand, Darius, and we out of here.
Go Seahawks.